Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live from Riverdale High School, ready for this very unique game as your Riverdale Raiders take on the Heritage Mountaineers, who have taken a 12-hour road trip all the way from Maryville, Tennessee. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on the Raider Baseball Radio Network. We sure do have a great game ahead of us here. After the Raiders defeated the South Fort Myers Wolfpack last Friday night on senior night, they extended their win streak to 5 games, and they now return home to take on the out-of-state Heritage High School Mountaineers. Just about a few moments away from first pitch here in Fort Myers, Florida. Your starting pitcher on the mound for the Raiders is going to be Jesse Lighthall. As Jesse Lighthall on the mound throws the last of his warm-up pitches, and first pitch will come in just any moment now. Take a look at the uniforms for the Riverdale Raiders. They're wearing their garnet red uniforms, white script Raiders across the chest. They have their white script numbers on the back, wearing the gray pants and the garnet script, not garnet script, but red colored hats, I should say. With the white script are down the center for Riverdale.
First inning for the Heritage Mountaineers, center fielder number 3, Devin Gardner.
Devin Gardner, the center fielder, will step up, and now we are just about moments away from the first pitch. Gardner leans into the left hand of the batter's box as he is a right-handed hitter. Jesse Lighthall sets at the letters, and his pitch coming in. It's inside for a strike, high up, and we are underway. 7:02 p.m. first pitch start time. Once again, thank you for joining us here on the Riverdale Raiders Baseball Network. And we'd like to remind you that you can catch each and every home game right here. You are listening to Nick Rush, and we're looking forward to a good game. And if you've listened to some of our previous broadcasts, then you know that I've been waiting for this game for quite a while. The 0-1 is fouled to the backstop for a quick 0-2 count. Once again, it's the Riverdale Raiders taking on the Heritage Mountaineers from Maryville, Tennessee. The distance from Maryville, or Heritage High School, to Riverdale High School, nearly 12 hours, and to be exact, 11 hours and 44 minutes. They traveled here on a bus, so I can't imagine going through that. Next pitch is down low in the corners for a ball 1, and then Gardner stays alive at the plate. With a 1-2 count, no outs, top of the first, and a 0-0 score, as we are just underway moments into today's ball game. Next pitch high up for another ball, tied up with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Well, after defeating the South Fort Myers Wolfpack in the most recent game by a 2-1 result, the Raiders once again extend their victory streak to 5 games, going all the way back to February 26, when they defeated the Lehigh Lightning by a 10-0 shutout score. Next pitch is fouled to the backstop. Ever since then, the Raiders have dominated against teams like the Charlotte Tarpons, the Mariner Tritons, the Fort Myers Green Wave, and South Fort Myers. And they hope to see if they can extend that streak to 6 tonight. Another 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Swinging strikeout to start it off for Jesse Lighthall, your starting pitcher on the mound.
Next batter for the Mountaineers, shortstop number 1, Hunter Terry.
Hunter Terry coming up to the plate. That second man due up in the order. On the batter's box is Inman for Heritage. Hunter Terry steps in, once again playing shortstop today, and he's another right-handed hitter in the box. His first pitch down low in the dirt for a ball 1. That's a fastball. When you look at the regular season schedule, the Raiders have yet to lose a single game at home. They lost only once here at RHS during a Raider Classic preseason game against the Estero Wildcats by a 7-4 score. Next pitch, once again down low in the dirt, 2-0. And when you look at our preseason games, Riverdale overall this year is 6-5. When you count our pair of preseason games in the record, I should say, they're 6-5, going 5-1 on their home games, and they are 1-3 when playing as the road team. The 2-0 swung on and missed for a strike. The Raiders are also 3-1 when playing against division rivals in Class 7A District 11. So, therefore, let's take a look at how the division is going tonight. Right after this next pitch from Lighthall. The 2-1 is on the way to Kevin McEltrott playing the catcher. It's knocked to shortstop. Fires over the first, and he got him. It's a 2-up, 2-down inning thus far as Inman comes up to the plate.
Batting next for Heritage, left fielder number 5, Aaron Inman.
And once again, left fielder Aaron Inman coming up to the plate. He's the third man due up of the inning. Well, in Class 7A District 11, the Gulf Coast Sharks are on top in that number 1 spot. They are 8-2 coming into their match tonight. They will be playing against the Park Vista Cobras, a high school in Lake Worth, Florida. And the Sharks are currently on a 4-game winning streak. Underneath them in second place is the Riverdale Raiders, who are 6-5. They're currently on a season-high 5-game winning streak. And, of course, that game is going on right now versus Heritage. Next pitch, chopper, goes foul to the backstop. Third is the Fort Myers Green Wave, who are tied up at 500 with a 6-win, 6-loss record. They play tonight at the Charlotte Tarpons. And at the bottom are the Charlotte Tarpons themselves. They are 2-7 of the year, playing against Fort Myers at home. The 1-1, down low in the dirt for another ball. Meanwhile, let's talk about the Heritage Mountaineers. They come into tonight's game representing Class AAA District 4 of the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association. The 2-1. Another one goes foul to the backstop. And coming into tonight's game, Heritage is in the 4th spot of an 8-game division. That is twice as large when you compare it to the Class 7A District 11, and from what we hear, there's a possibility Class 7A District 11 may go down to 3 games by next year. Next pitch from Lighthall, knocks it to shortstop again. Scooped up, fires a first. Got him. No, he did. That was very close. Just beat him by about a step. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning as we head to the bottom of the first. Your score is 0-0 after a 3-up, 3-down inning with Jesse Lighthall out on the mound. Bottom of the first. Raiders are about to bat for the first time in the game right after this.
Leading off bottom of the first inning for your Raiders, shortstop number 1, Tyler Yeager.
Tyler Yeager will be your first man due up in the batting order for the Raiders in this evening's game. If you are just tuning in, thank you for joining us for this non-district baseball conference between your Riverdale Raiders and the Heritage Mountaineers of Maryville, Tennessee. First pitch, Yeager signals for the bunt, but it's high up for a ball 1. And just to recap that top of the first, Jesse Lighthall got on the mound and pitched a great way to start it off. 3-up, 3-down inning with a swinging strikeout to Devin Gardner. A 6-3 put out to Hunter Terry. The next batter is Aaron Inman, who also suffered a 6-3. So great start once again for Jesse Lighthall out there on the mound. And Tyler Yeager playing the shortstop in today's game. Starts off with a 2-1 count in the box. Just underway, bottom of the first. It's 0-0 your score. Pitch chopped down the third base side goes foul. Your 3 men due up at the bottom of the first for the Raiders is Tyler Yeager, who's currently up. Dustin Hefner is next, and after that, none other than Matisse Bober.
Bober!
Yep, that's a name we all like to say. And now there's some Yeager chants coming from the Raiders dugout. Swung on and missed. Strikeout to start it off.
Batting next for your Raiders, center fielder number 4, Dustin Hefner.
Dustin Hefner, the center fielder, steps up next. Your starting pitcher for Heritage High School is Jared McDonald. First pitch, Hefner leans in. Looked like he was trying to bunt there, but it's outside and he holds back for a ball 1. Hefner's 1-0 turns into a 2-0, pitch down low in the corners. Well, before we went to the break at the top of the first, we were talking about the Heritage Mountaineers chopper high up. That's a very high pitch heading towards the Tennessee dugout, or the Heritage dugout, I must say, and it goes foul. 3 men tried to track that down in the infield. Off to a little bit of a rough start here in the press box, but it goes foul. And Dustin Hefner lives to see another pitch. And his first at-bat of the ball game. We'd like you to come out for tonight's game, and if you are interested in attending tonight's ball game, tickets start at just $4 once again at the gate, and a very nice crowd has filed in. Anyhow, there are more than plenty of seats to go around here. Down the first base side to where the Raider fans sit, that's right next to the Raider bullpen, or dugout, I must say. Once again, I'm off to a little bit of a rough start, and this pitch will be a flyout. 2 up, 2 down now to start it off for the Raiders. Batting.
Next, left fielder number 8, Matisse Bober.
And Matisse Bober coming in, and this is pretty interesting considering the fact that Matisse Bober usually does not pitch in that third spot. He's replacing Nick Blasucci in today's game, and Blasucci is not in any spot in the lineup for tonight's game. First pitch is a ball. The 1-0 gang in, bounces down in the dirt for a ball, and you may hear that Raider dugout with chants of Bober. They always crack me up. The 2-0 barely gets inside along the edges for a strike. That's down low. Anyways, the Raiders in your dugout down the first base side from the press box. Down the third base side is the Heritage Mountaineers. He smacks this one deep to right center, and it gets down right on the wall. So Matisse Bober will represent the first base runner in today's game for the Raiders, getting that in for a double.
Batting next for your Raiders, catcher number 11, Kevin McEltrott.
And Kevin McEltrott, the catcher. Coming up next, playing the cleanup hitter. He's also playing the catcher on the Raider defense in today's game. Jesse Lighthall is now on the on-deck circle, playing that 5th batter in the order. So now the runner on scoring territory and 2 outs. Let's see if the Raiders can happen to get on the board early on here. Once again at the bottom of the first.
Let's go, Finkelstein!
Chopper down the third base side for your first pitch. He's now off to an 0-1 count. And you heard that, you know, Finkelstein is a very common name we like to call him. Next pitch gets down low for a ball. McEltrott looking very comfortable and very patient in the box. Once again, 2 outs at the bottom of the first, and it's 0-0 between Riverdale and Heritage High School. And 1 man on second. Another one banked down the third base side, goes foul.
By the way, third baseman, get ready. He's coming at you.
It's now a 1-2 count. Any pitch can be the last for the first inning. A long single can score in Matisse Bober. Releases the pitch. That's down low in the corners. Look at this leadoff. Takes it over to second, and they got him. Catcher throwing over to second, and caught Matisse Bober leaning off base. And that closes out the sides. We head to second inning. It's 0-0 your score.
Coca-Cola Diet Coke. Top of the second inning for the Heritage Mountaineers. Catcher number 16, Hunter Gilliland.
Hunter Gilliland will start off the inning as the Heritage Mountaineers come to their second at-bat of the game. As we head to the top of the second, it's a 0-0 score. Lighthall on the mound for his second inning of pitching. First pitch knocked to the safety netting. And that was heading straight through the open window in the press box. That tends to happen every game, I feel like. But once again, you'll hear me say this every single game, that safety net does in fact save lives.
especially the press box.
Yeah, we could have had the unwanted visitor baseball coming back here. High up in the corners for a ball. 1-1 to count. And I've seen that happen way too many times in pro ball. Feel pretty safe back here in the press box.
Been to the miracle game where
yeah.
Where they try to catch the foul ball in the fishnet.
Yeah.
That's great. Almost said foul ball back. The guy's out there with the net like this. I got it. It's great.
Yeah, that did happen at a miracle game once. I was listening to a game and, yep, sure enough, a ball came through the window. Broadcaster was yelling, "Open fire!" 1-2 the count. He said he jumped down to the ground. Not sure if that's a wise decision or not. Pitch down low, now a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Gilliland.
I can see falling down there, but jumping down to the ground.
That's a little...
you could get hurt that way.
Yeah. I guess it's all about dodging the ball, but this is down the middle, over the head of Jesse Lighthall, and into center field for a leadoff single. That's the first hit for Heritage today.
Courtesy runner for the catcher now, running at first base, number 7, Shane Weekly. Next batter for the Mountaineers, pitcher number 6, Jared McDonald.
So Shane Weekly is now your courtesy runner over on first base, and Jared McDonald, who is also the starting pitcher for Heritage, will lean in. Lighthall checks over on second base without a throw, and here comes the first pitch to McDonald. High up for a ball. Looks like that runner over on first, Weekly, is taking a heck of a leadoff. I can't blame Lighthall this time for looking over there so much.
Check it out.
No outs at the top of the second. Still a scoreless tie. And the pitch. High up. Looks like that's going to be fouled out of play. Right fielder going to it, and he'll let it drop down in front of him. It looked like Matt Hardy out in right field. Just couldn't get to that. Just landed short of the bullpen area where they have the chairs. And we'll have a quick stoppage of play as they'll track that ball down and send it back to home plate. Now a 1-1 count to McDonald. 1 man on, no man out. And I mentioned earlier in tonight's broadcast, we have a nice crowd on hand, but it looks like for the cheap seats, there are 2 fans out there. That's a record breaker.
4.
There's 4.
Well, now 2 just got down. 2 were staying up by the cheap seat signs. They just went down.
Okay.
Yep, so we got 2.
Yeah, so as of right now, there are 2 people. As far as we know.
A little brutal, and you're staring right into the sun.
Yeah, you can't blame them. Yeah, I remember last game, I just looked back, and it seems like they increased compared to last time I saw him. McEltrott receives the pitch and fires over to first just to keep that runner on time. He gets back in time without a dive. So who knows? For all we know, maybe it'll increase. But yeah, just about 2 weeks ago, we've had that daylight savings time. We sprung forward on the clock, and now we see a little bit of sunlight to begin our games. It's a little something different. Knocked to left field. And that's going to be another single. Now men on second and first with back-to-back base knocks. Gilliland over on second, McDonald on first. Number 11, Riley Hill comes up next.
Batting next for the Mountaineers, second baseman, number 11, Riley Hill.
Riley Hill will be playing second base on the infield today. Now with men on second and first and no outs, he's in a very good position for his first at-bat today's game. First pitch coming in from Lighthall. He sure does have a swing to his bat when he steps in. He bluffs a throw over to second, Lighthall that is, and Everyone's back in time. Looks like the sun's just setting back behind the ballpark here, a place we like to call Pringle Field, named after our head coach of the Raider ball team, Bob Pringle himself. Speaking of that, let's go to our managers. Of course, like I just mentioned seconds ago, Bob Pringle for your Raiders. And for Heritage, it's Robbie Bennett. Now a 1-0 count to Riley Hill once again. He's playing the third man due up in the inning. Next pitch signals for a bunt, leans back, fire over to second by McEltrott. Back in time again, and once again, like I said, both of these runners, they're taking some interesting leadoffs pretty far out there leaning, so once again, you can't blame McEltrott or Jesse Lighthall for checking back often. The only one bad thing about it is that it tends to slow down the game a bit. Yeah, it's been a very slow start here, top of the second. And no outs. Still tied up with no score. This is a high line drive and they let get down. They fire over. The third goes over his head. So now runners are going to get in time. And look at this. Bases are loaded. So 3 back-to-back-to-back singles. What a start for Heritage as Austin...
For Heritage, designated hitter number 22, Austin Delosier.
Austin Delosier comes up next. And once again, a good spot for him. I mean, bases are loaded. There's no outs. I mean, they can score in a run very easily without that ball even touching ground. It could be a sacrifice. There are just so many ways to score when you're in a position like this. Austin Delosier playing the designated hitter in today's ball game.
Suicide squeeze.
Oh, that goes to second base, goes off to second baseman. Look at the runners coming home, and Heritage will get on the board first. It's 1-0 your score. Looks like that was Shane Weekly coming in to score. He was the courtesy runner who came in earlier on during the inning.
Now batting for the Mountaineers, third baseman number 2, Daniel Price.
So once again, that's Shane Weekly coming in for the first run of the game, and that busts this open to a 1-0 score. As Price comes up to the plate, his first pitch, it's in for a strike. That's Daniel Price, the shortstop. And the runners are still juiced. 1 to third, 1 on second, 1 on first. This is one of the last ways you want to have your second inning be held for a strike. Whitehall has to be under a whole lot of pressure right now as he throws outside and down low. It's now a 1-2 count. Right now, Kyle Valentine is on deck for the Mountaineers. Next one, very delayed swing, swung on and missed, and that's a strikeout. Second of the game for Lighthall.
Next batter for Heritage, right fielder number 4, Kyle Valentine.
Kyle Valentine coming up. That was Daniel Price once again striking out there. Now with 1 out at the top of the second, and once again the Mountaineers scoring first, 1-0, high up for the first pitch to Valentine, the right fielder. Well, once again, we were talking about Heritage a little while ago. Once again, we'll refresh you. They represent Class AAA District 4 of the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association. High line drive, that goes foul and out of the ballpark, and I just saw that ball land all the way out there to the street. Please, someone race over there. Get a souvenir. Yep. Have a little kid going after that ball. Once again, very slow start. Lighthall steps off the mound and bluffs a throw over the third. Coming into tonight's game, the Mountaineers are playing in an 8-team division. Once again. And you can imagine how much competition is going on there. I mean, the Raiders are playing in Class 7A District 11, which consists of a total of 4 teams. So, it's competitive enough here, but boy, you can only imagine how that is. 1-2 count now. The Valentine. Looks like all right-handers are in the box thus far for Heritage, and he gets the strike in. Back-to-back punch-outs, blows him away watching.
Next batter for Heritage, top of the order, center fielder number 3, Devin Gardner.
And we head to the top of the order as Devin Gardner comes up for his second at-bat in 2 innings. He struck out in his first appearance at the plate.
See if you can have a repeat performance. Yeah. Not every run.
First pitch, a ball along the edges. And unfortunately, our stat website, Max Preps, looked to be a bit outdated on the Mountaineers baseball page. So that's going to take a lot out of the broadcast. So it's unknown what the team record currently is and what scores of their previous games were. So we apologize for that inconvenience. This is a low liner to the infield. Diving catch made to close out the sides. It's rough, and they score 1 run as they got the bags juiced on multiple occasions. Bottom of the second, 1-0 your score.
Heritage 1, your Raiders 0. Raiders catcher number 11, Kevin McEltrott.
Kevin McEltrott coming up to the plate, playing the leadoff man. Once again, as we resume baseball action at the bottom of the second here at Pringle Field at Riverdale High School, your score is 1-0, an advantage of the Heritage High School Mountaineers. That's a high ball. The center is getting deep, but it looks like this will be tracked down by the right fielder. That's an F9 in the scorebooks for McEltrott.
Next batter for your Raiders, pitcher number 16, Jesse Lighthawk.
Pitcher Jesse Lighthawk coming up next. Well, you remember McEltrott, he was up at the plate on the bottom of the first, but while he was in the middle of his at-bat, catcher was able to throw over the second, and they caught Matisse Bober, who was on the bag. He was leaning off to the sides, and they were able to tag him out. And that's why McEltrott came back up off the first pitch. Grounder to third, fire to first, and they barely got him. And you can probably hear the fan reaction. They do not like that.
Your next Raider batter, third baseman number 7, Tyler Prell.
So just within seconds, we already have 2 outs here at the bottom of the second as third baseman Tyler Prell comes up to the plate. He's playing the third base on the infield for the Raiders. His first pitch gets him down low for a ball. Next pitch, knocked down the third base side, goes foul. And if we want to talk about records, once again, when it comes to the 7 regular season games here at Riverdale, the Raiders are 5-0 coming into tonight. Once again, that's when you count the regular season. Down low in the corners for a ball. They are 6-1 when you count our 2 Raider Classic preseason games in early February. That one loss came from the Estero Wildcats when they defeated RHS, I should say, by a 7-4 score. Prell knocks it down the third base side. Had some airtime there, but it's fouled for a quick 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs at the bottom of the second inning. And now there's going to be a quick meeting on the mound between pitcher and catcher. Well, anyways, the Wildcats defeated Riverdale by a 7-4 score. The second game in the preseason series was when Riverdale defeated Canterbury 2 days later.
Blasucci just made an appearance and carried balls out to the umpire.
Oh, so Blasucci is carrying balls out to the umpire, we hear.
The official ball carrier tonight.
I was wondering where he was. Knocks it back to the pitcher's mound, and he makes a simple catch. 3 up, 3 down. We are heading to the third. It's 1-0, Heritage on top.
Your Heritage High School Shortstop number 1, Hunter Terry.
Hunter Terry leading off the top of the third as he heads to his second at-bat of the game. In the first, he suffered a 6-3 grounder. His first pitch coming in from Jesse Lighthall, now in inning number 3 of his pitching. Happened to corners, but they'll count it for a strike. Well, anyways, just a few minutes ago, we saw Nick Blasucci carrying out the ball to the umpire. And that's what we were talking about earlier during the broadcast. We were saying, why isn't Blasucci in the lineup?
Nice.
He was replaced by Matisse Bober once again in that third spot. So we were really curious about what that was all about. But hey, at least we saw him. An 0-2 start for Hunter Terry. That is fisted out to right field into foul territory. Hunter Terry, Aaron Inman, and Hunter Gilliland will be your 3-men due-up for Heritage at the top of the third. That's a grounder, goes over the head of Lighthall, stopped at second, fired to first, and he's safe in time for a single. Terry now goes 1 for 2 in tonight's game.
Batting next for the Mountaineers, left fielder number 5, Aaron Inman.
Aaron Inman now comes up, who also suffered a 6-3 putout in the first. And it was a very rough top of the second. You remember that Heritage, they put 7 batters on the plate. They had 7 different batters. They bagged the juices on multiple occasions. The fortunate thing for Riverdale, anyhow, is that only 1 run came across when they had the bases loaded, and that was a very lengthy inning as well, so I guess that's some pretty good news for Riverdale, I would like to think. 0-1 count. Once again, your score, 1-0. Top of the third we go, live from Riverdale High School. Tonight's game is our final game of the 6-game homestand. We'll talk more about that in a few moments. Next pitch gets away from McEltrott, deflects off his chest, and the runner able to extend over to second base without a throw. Now they bring another runner into extending territory at second base. Now, with a long single to the outfield, Heritage has the opportunity to extend their lead to 2-0. Way high up above the strike plate for another ball, 2-1 to count. Well, once again, this evening's contest, it's the finale of our 6-game homestand. It is also the second to last home game of the 2015 season. So I said it in our last broadcast, and I'll say it again. If you want to see a Raider broadcast, or a baseball game, I should say, here at Riverdale High School, then better come out soon. Strikeout. Batter interference. Okay, pardon me. There's quite the confusion out on the field at the moment, and now you're going to have a coach and umpire meeting, so it looks like there's a batter interference from what I'm hearing. And we'll see how this wraps up. Yeah, but McEltrott, all I saw, he leapt up, tried to make the throw over to second, and now there's a batter interference here. And the punishment of an interference is that they are out. So, there's your first out at the top of the third. Third man due up at the inning, Hunter Gilliland. The catcher. That's always a fun name to say. That's inside along the edges. Well, once again, if you'd like to come to a Raider ball game, you have rather tonight's game or you have next Tuesday's game versus Gulf Coast. That's the big rivalry game, so we're all looking forward to that one here at Riverdale. Next pitch gets in for a strike. That's a close one, down low in the corners. 0-2. Well, after tonight's ball game, Riverdale will go on a short 2-game road trip to take on the East Lee County Jaguars this Thursday night. That has a to-be-announced start time. And he got him! For another strikeout. Watching it go by was Gilliland, and up comes Jared McDonald.
Now batting for Heritage, pitcher number 6, Jared McDonald.
McDonald, in his last at-bat, singled in the second. And they will wrap up that 2-game road trip with a division rivalry rematch at the Charlotte Tarpons on Friday night, with the first pitch taking place at 7 o'clock p.m. First pitch gets in for a strike for McDonald. The final home game for the Raiders will be next Tuesday, March 24th, when they will go head-to-head with the Gulf Coast Sharks for the second and final time in the season. 0-1 gets in for an 0-2. No swinging response, and that pitch, a fastball, was nailed down right in the middle of the heart of the plate. The last time the two divisional enemies clashed was on February 24th, when the Sharks defeated Riverdale by a 4-1 outcome on the campus of Gulf Coast High School. This is a grounder to short, fire to first, and there's your 3 outs. We head to the bottom of the third. More baseball coming up on the Raider Baseball Radio Network after another brief intermission.
For your Raiders, designated hitter number 21, Coleman Rouse.
Coleman Russ coming up to the plate. Leading off at the bottom of the third, your 3-man due-up is Ross, the designated hitter. And you have Hardy coming up, and then Ace Avito. First pitch to Big Country, we like to call him, gets in for a strike. Watches it go by. A 3-up, 3-down inning was the last time the Raiders came up to bat, when McEltrott suffered a fly out to right field. A 5-3 was put out on Lighthall, and Tyler Perrell hit a short flyer to the pitcher's mound. Raiders hoping for some better luck here in the third, still trailing 1-0 in what is currently a pitcher's duel battle, and that gets him right on the arm, the left arm it looks like, and he will take a walk over to first.
Next batter for your Raiders, right fielder number 9, Matt Hardy.
It's Matt Hardy coming up next. Matt Hardy once again playing right field. I apologize if I'm saying once again quite often. That's a little bit of a habit I'm trying to break, so I have to say sorry about that. It's becoming to get an annoyance. I read that's a pretty common thing, actually, when it comes to broadcasting games. Tend to develop these phrases, and at times you just use them constantly. So once again, I apologize for that. I'm trying my hardest. Just have to really pay attention to what you say. 1-0 count on Hardy. Oh, he had to dive his way out of that ball, and they're saying that was extremely close, and that may have got him on the arm. So, look at that. 2 back-to-back hit-by-pitch situations.
Your next Raider.
Whoops.
Your next Raider batter, first baseman number 3, Colin Acevedo.
Colin Acevedo coming up to the plate. So that's pretty interesting. Very rarely do you see something like that. You have Coleman Ross, who led off the inning. He was hit by a pitch, and now Hardy got hit by a pitch on the arm. Now you have a courtesy runner coming in for Coleman Ross, it looks like. Looks like it's Ryan Cooper.
Second base, number 39, Ryan Cooper.
So Ryan Cooper will take over at second base. He represents the tying run here. Once again at the bottom of the third. And Hardy over on first base. Let's see if Acevedo can do anything. He's playing the first base in tonight's contest. He's signaling for a bunt. Throw over to second again, and he got him. That's the second time where they picked off a runner over on second base. So Ryan Cooper Not off to a very good start.
By the way, base runners, the guy's got a cannon, okay?
Yep, that's obvious.
You can't lead off by 6 miles.
Yeah,
Jeez Louise.
and what's interesting, in both situations where a Raider base runner, I guess you could say, was on second, they were both courtesy runners, I believe. No, they were not, pardon me. First one was Matisse Bober.
Bober got picked.
Yeah, first was Bober over on second, and now it's Cooper. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out to Acevedo. Signals for a bunt, gets it down the middle. Throws over the second, goes over the head of the second baseman anyhow. And both runners are going to stay, 1 on second and 1 on first. Raiders building something up maybe here with 1 out.
Next batter for your Raiders, shortstop number 1, Tyler Yeager.
We head to the top of the order. Tyler Yeager coming up for his second at-bat in the game. Struck out on his first attempt. Now he has a little bit more padding with a man on second and 1 on first. Grounder down the third base side goes foul. Third base coach is going to scoop that ball directly up and fire it back to the pitcher's mound. Yeah, coach making the scoop. We're going to nickname him Scoop. That sounds like something that can actually happen. You see, next ball gets away from the catcher. Runner over at second considered taking off, but he said, no, I'm going to stay back. And now catcher going to head back up to the pitcher's mound for the second time of the game. Meanwhile, the umpire will take the opportunity to dust off home plate. Once again, Heritage High School. Oh, there's me saying once again. Once more is a good one to say. It's 1-0 Heritage over Riverdale. That's what they call a crutch phrase, I heard. Swung on and miss. Just those little phrases you say and it seems to get you every time. It's such a habit. Next pitch swung on and missed. It's a 1-2 count, 1 out. At the bottom of the third. Yeager hoping to stay alive. Maybe to extend that runner over on third and maybe even bear home. Runner trying to go over to second again. It was close, but he dives back in time. And a strikeout's called on Yeager. That's his second of the game. He's 0 for 2.
Next batter, center fielder number 4, Dustin Hefner.
On his first attempt, he watched it, or swung and missed. And on his next attempt, just watches it go by as Dustin Hefner comes up. He flew out in the first. Steps out very quickly. Pitch. Oh, that gets over the third baseman's glove. And Hardy took a long turn over on third, and he's going to hold back over on third base. So, with 2 outs, oh boy, let's see if the Raiders can capitalize.
For your Raiders, left fielder number 8, Matisse Bober.
Matisse Bober.
Bober.
Let's see what he can do as he heads back up to the plate for his second plate appearance. First pitch. Look at this. They're firing back over to second. That goes wild into center field, and Hardy's going to come in to score. Raiders get on the board. It's now 1-1 at the bottom of the third, and that puts some relief on the Riverdale batting unit. So Hardy got on the base pads what feels like forever, quite a while ago. He was hit by a pitch and eventually comes in to score a run. And it's a high fly ball to right center field, and it's gloved up to close out the sides. But the Raiders do get on the board with Matt Hardy coming home from third. We head into the fourth, and we are tied at 1 apiece.
Second baseman number 11, Riley Hill.
Riley Hill stepping up to the plate. As we begin the top of the fourth, your score, we are tied up at 1 apiece between Riverdale High School and the Heritage Mountaineers. First pitch gets in for a strikeout fastball. The 0-1. High in the sky. Kevin McEltrott going to run it down with the first baseman, and he lets it drop down. He tried to leap for it, but goes right off the tip of his glove. Those fly balls have been getting to everyone tonight. It's a leadoff single for Riley Hill.
22, Austin Delosier.
Austin Delosier coming up next. Smokes it down the middle. Leaping catch made. Going to first. Did he get him in time? He did. It's a double play. Wow. So what happened? It was a flyer over to second base. He sniped it out of the air and threw it over to first. That's what they call a twin killing.
Number 2, Daniel Price.
Daniel Price coming up to the plate. So we're off to a very quick 2 outs. Once again, we are live from Riverdale High School. Thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast. First pitch gets in for a strike. Another strike gets in, and it's a quick 0-2 count to Daniel Price to shortstop. Now, there's nobody in the cheap seats. Wow. Actually, pretty surprised by that. Down low in the corners for a ball. And like I said earlier, usually they come out to our big divisional games, but no one out there. And seems like I never really fully described the cheap seats. In case if anyone is new to the broadcast, let's see if I have time. Any pitch can be the last. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. High flyer to... and it's caught by the second baseman. And that closes out the top of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth. We'll tell you all about those cheap seats. And the Raiders come up to bat again right after this. Kevin McEltrott coming up to the plate once more. Caught myself there. Down low for a ball. I feel like that's going to be an all-night problem here for the remainder of the broadcast. I sure hope not. But let's talk about Daniel Kaler over on second base for your Raiders tonight. We haven't seen him out there too often on second base in the previous games, but he definitely has been off to a great start, making 2 back-to-back catches to close out the fourth, or top of the fourth, that is. They were very nice catches at that. First one just leaping up and forcing a double play. And then the next play makes a diving catch. This has some airtime to it, and it's gloved up out in right field. There's your out on McEltrott.
Now batting, pitcher number 16, Jesse Lighthall.
Jesse Lighthall coming up to the plate. Once again, he suffered with a 5-3 grounder in his last. Oh, he rocked this ball to left. Looks like it's going to be stopped, and it is deep out in left field. Very quick 2 outs coming up. That's an F7 in the scorebooks. So a fly out to right field by Mackeltrot.
Tyler Perrell.
Well, fly out to right field by Mackeltrot, and off to left was Lighthall. Let's see what Tyler Perrell can do in his second at-bat after flying out to the pitcher's mound. First pitch for a strike one. Had some facts slip by me here. I should have said this at the beginning of the game. Pitch foul to the backstop. At 7 p.m., we were 74 degrees, 0% precipitation, no chance of rain. Wind, 4 miles per hour. Right now it looks like it's the flag in center field is blowing from right to left just barely. Swung on and missed, and there's your strikeout. That was a quick 3 outs. We head to the 5th inning after another brief pause.
The Heritage Mountaineers, right fielder number 4, Kyle Valentine.
Kyle Valentine stepping up. In his last at-bat, he struck out watching in the second. Let's see if he can get on the bag for the first time in the night's game. First pitch gets in for a strike, and the sun has officially set. But once again, at 7 p.m. when the sun was out, it was 74 degrees, 0% precipitation, wind 4 miles per hour, 61% humidity, and your forecast is mostly clear.
Jesse's coming around now. That's good. Settle down.
Yeah, Jesse has definitely relaxed. You see on the mound, you remember he started a little rough in that second, but the bases were loaded very early on.
That's right here. Freeze him. Freeze him. Freeze him.
He's looking very comfortable and got him. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts on Kyle Valentine. This time, swinging and missing.
Next batter for the Mountaineers, top of the order, center fielder number 3, Devin Gardner.
Devin Gardner coming up for his third appearance. He's 0 for 2. A strikeout. And a fly ball over the second. Which once again was caught by Daniel Kaler, who's doing a great job out on second base. Pitch number 1 is a strike. With 1 out, top of the 5th, tied at 1 apiece between the Raiders and the Heritage Mountaineers coming down. Next pitch meets the dirt
That was close.
for a ball. Well, let's talk about Heritage Mountaineers once again. They're down here in Southwest Florida for 3 days. Tomorrow night, they'll be playing against the Estero Wildcats. And then on Thursday night, they will be playing against Dunbar High School before making their long trip back up to Tennessee.
They'll kill Dunbar.
Oh,
Oh man, that come
yeah.
like straight off the pipe.
That was another very close one. A foul ball towards the press box window, and it bounced right off one of those pipes of the safety netting.
Doink.
But that must be pretty rough for them. I mean, they come 12 hours away on the bus ride, and they're playing 3 ball games in 3 days. But, hey,
Callus full.
from what I hear, they're down here for what they consider some nice weather.
I think it's hot.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty humid.
Hot. It's hot.
Meanwhile, I checked on the weather of Maryville, and that's what us Floridians, well, most of us anyways, would call a pretty chilly day. Break out the jacket, 65 degrees, 0% precipitation,
Moving to Maryville.
56% humidity,
I am out of here.
11 mile per hour wind.
I'm gone. See you.
Yep,
Have a nice day. Get him. Oh, hit that.
that's a long bomb to center. It gets all the way down at the wall. Runner trips over on first. That can delay him to a double. That got all the way down at the wall. And just for a few seconds, call me crazy, but I thought that was heading over the wall. Luckily, that's not the case, and we're still tied up at 1 apiece.
Next batter for the Mountaineers, shortstop, number 1, Hunter Terry.
Hunter Terry coming up next. Devin Gardner is over on second base. 1 out, 1 man on second. And Riverdale coach Bob Pringle, for a while he did reside in Maryville, Tennessee. He attended Maryville College. He played with their baseball team. He was a pitcher. Looking over the second. Runner gets back in time. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday night. All Riverdale High School home baseball games can be heard live on the web. McEltrott leaps up after that pitch. It's outside, high up, and that runner's going to get back in time. McEltrott bluffed the throw. But hey, I mean, Maryville, they traveled... I keep saying Maryville once again. It's Heritage High School from Maryville. The reason why I say that is because there is a Maryville High School from my research. Fires over the first, got him for out number 2. But yes, there is a Maryville High School and a Heritage High School. Big difference.
Now batting for the Mountaineers, left fielder number 5, Aaron Inman.
Aaron Inman coming up next. So anyways, they traveled 12 hours to get here. And in Heritage, after 3 nights of back-to-back-to-back baseball, will travel another 12 hours to get back up there. That's a combined 24 hours. So at the end of this whole nice trip, they'll be taking an entire day of traveling. Took a bus ride once again. 1-1. Barely gets inside. High up in the corners anyhow for a strike. 0-2 the count. And 2 outs. One more pitch can do it. That would be a great deal for Jesse Lighthall with that runner over on third. But let's see what he can do. No balls, 2 strikes. Fouled. Way over the safety netting and way out into the forest. Yep, that's what we like to say. It's out to the veranda.
The ball is now residing on the 17th hole.
That's what you're saying. We hope there's not a golf course over there. There'd be some massive golf balls out there on the course.
I got irritated the other day. Just as he was getting ready to hit his tee shot, I hit crazy train. He goes,
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't have a very nice word to say, but I didn't care. It was fun.
0-2.
Got him.
Did he get him? Looks like it was foul.
Fouled off.
Yeah, that was very close. Just barely made connection with the bat. Went right off the end. And it's a foul. He stays alive once again. Lighthall once again feeling pressure. He just wants to keep this tied at a 1-1 game. Doesn't want to put the Raiders down. Maryville looking for their second lead of the game. Looks like they might not get it. Oh, he bobbled the ball at shortstop, and they're going to get it. Runner coming home from third base, and it's 2-1. An advantage of Heritage. That was Devin Gardner coming in.
Now batting for Heritage, catcher number 16, Hunter Gilliland.
Hunter Gilliland will step back up. Well, Gardner's been having a pretty nice inning. I mean, made a double to start off the inning, extended his way over to third, and making his way home to give Heritage their second lead of the ball game once again. Whoop, there I am saying it. Man. Keeps sneaking its way back in.